drinking bowl, ladies and gentlemen. Do not do that, please. I'm part of SAB. SABD. Students Against Drinking Bowlers. SADBA. SADBA. That's what I'm a member of. Students Against Drunk Bowlers. And right now, ladies, this is Up Your Alley, Garden City's #1 bowling show. And welcome all the people that are watching this show in Livonia, Dearborn Heights, Westland, Farmington Hills, and also in Garden City. This show is being brought to you through a grant from the Garden City Cable Commission. And if you, too, would like to put a show together of your own, just contact the Garden City Cable. Do I sound too much like Howard Cosell or anything? Was I talking like that? Just contact the Cable Commission at Garden City City Hall, and they'd be more than happy to help you put a show together of your own. The top 5 bowlers on Up Your Alley in this next 6 months will be in the Up Your Alley Tournament of Champions 2, and that will be shot in December. The winner of that trip, or the winner of that tournament, will receive a trip to Toronto for 2, courtesy of your travel planner. Go to that clip. There you see it. Sid Fernandez hitting the ball, building there. Chuck Scribner just ran across the screen. He was running after Tony Fernandez there hitting the ball. And that trip is courtesy of your travel planner in the Sheridan Square in Garden City. Right now I'd like to bring up our challenger, Mike Laskawa. Mike is not an avid bowler, so that, of course, gives Mike a 150 average. How are you doing today?
Fine. How you doing?
Pretty good. Now, how'd you find out about the show?
Person I work with on your staff, Dan York.
Dan. So,
Good guy.
is he a good guy?
Yeah, he's a real good
Now, I
guy.
understand you're friends with ex-Tiger big leaguer Chuck the Anvil Scribner.
Oh, yes. Close personal friends. It's indescribable, our relationship.
Now, how do you know Chuck?
Through work also.
And is he like the custodian at where you work?
No, actually, he's even the manager. He's such a big name. He's the manager.
Like you guys manage pennants and stuff like that.
Basically, yeah. That covers it. How about yourself?
I'm fine. I work for Chuck Scribner's son. Yeah, and he's a good guy, too. He's an ex-big leaguer. Yeah, they both played Atari baseball together. So, Mike, anything that you have to say out there to the friends or family? Or?
Just say hello to everybody and
Congratulations on graduation. Yeah, it's getting fine. And congratulations on graduation, and I hope you have fun tomorrow night.
I will.
And remember, do you want to be a member of SADBA?
No, thank you.
Okay. See you later, Mike. And right now, we'd like to bring up Heather Burrows. What's this big grin about? Like, you got something planned, and what is it?
Nothing.
Nothing. How do you feel about bowling against your boyfriend?
Oh, I'm very happy to.
Have you guys,
It's a lot of fun.
is there a lot of competition in this relationship?
No,
None?
none.
But where's the pants in this relationship?
Well, we're both wearing pants right now, so
So it's pretty much a liberal relationship where both of you wear pants. When don't you? When you wear shorts. That was the answer. So what's your strategy this week?
I'm going to hit the pins.
That's good. That's what Jacqueline was trying to do. That was his strategy.
Yeah, I heard that. It sounded like such a good strategy, I thought I'd copy it.
Now, what are them shoes saying this week?
They're saying I'm ugly.
Well, I can't.
They're talking to you.
Huh? Why?
I said, I think they're talking to you.
Oh, that's good. And the Velcro's kind of nice, and it's good that you figured it out this week.
Well, I mean, bowling is strenuous, and so they figure that the energy that you save from not tying your shoes, you can put into the bowling. That's what I assume they use for the shoe manufacturing.
Well, basically, you're supposed to win this week because Mike had to tie your shoes.
Right.
Good. Well, good luck. And there you heard Heather. She's got nasal problems, and if that happened to jump out and land on you, well, I'm sorry. Get a napkin. More Up Your Alley after this.
From Garden City's Garden Lane, this is Omni Edition's Up Your Alley. Brought to you by King Cone on Ford Road, just east of Merriman. By Geppetto's on Ford Road, west of Middlebelt. By the Garden Lanes on Warren Road, just east of Middlebelt. By Tales and Tapes Bookstore in the Sheridan Square. And by Your Travel Planner, also in the Sheridan Square and all in Garden City. Here now your host, Kevin Kramus.
Welcome back to Up Your Alley. Right now, we're going to have Heather start it out. Don, let's give us some odds on this match.
Well, last week I doubted Heather, and I don't think I want to do that again because last week she proved that you can win on Up Your Alley without your own shoes or ball.
And she had a 142-pin handicap.
Well, that might have helped too.
Heather and Mike will both be attending the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Heather has a My Daddy's Got a Lot of Money scholarship. And she picked up 2 pins there. That'll bring up Mike Laskawa, close personal friend of ex-Tiger big leaguer Chuck Scribner. You okay, Heather? Heather with that sinus problem. And Mike will start out with a strike here in the first frame. Michael bowled his second frame now. They bowl on a Friday night league, I guess you could call it. They just go out and bowl, a bunch of friends, and that's where Mike got his skill. He's using his father's ball. His dad's named Mike also. Both these youngsters are graduating from Churchill High School, conveniently located down the road from Clyde Smith Farm Market on Newburgh. Ooh, and that was a junk ball. Did you see what happened, Don?
It looked like he might have pulled that ball over a little.
He didn't get one, Don, because stuff started. He got more than. He knocked down 3, Don. You left him too shy.
Sorry about that, Mike. He only deserved 1.
And he picked it up, so Mike with 2 marks, and that'll give him a 20 through 1 frame of bowling. That'll bring up Heather Burrows here in the second frame. Heather got an 8 count in that first frame. And she'll knock down 7. So, Don, what do you think about the new attire in the bowling alley?
Oh, it looks great. Just that they do something with the lane.
Don means that the lanes are too good and the scores are too high, and they think they should bring them down because too many people are bowling 300 games, and that's just not, that's unheard of. So Heather here in the third frame. 15 so far. Don didn't add in that handicap. What would you call that, Don?
Looked like she knocked down 7 again.
It is a ditto, Don. What do you think about this new wireless mic, Don?
We'll find out when we hear it on TV.
And she dumps it in the gutter. One item 12, 1 item 12. We have an assault here in Garden Lanes, conveniently located on Warren Road, just east of Middlebelt and Garden City. We have an 18-year-old adolescent beating up on the host of Garden City's #1 bowling show and Southeastern Michigan's #1 bowling show. Mike picked up 2 there. So Mike started out with a strike, a spare, and then opened here in the 3rd frame. Don, what's that score? I can't read that stuff.
46.
To-
the third.
To what?
To Heather's 30.
Did you add in that 8-pin handicap?
I added in the handicap.
A strike there for Mike. Was that well executed, Don?
That was very well executed.
Don Spring, Mr. Bowling here in Garden City. So how's the bass fishing this week?
It's been kind of slow with the droughty kind of weather.
Droughty? Is that a word?
That's a word. We're going to have to reset.
Re-rack. You get 1 re-rack on Up Your Alley. Hang on. She just can't figure it out. See, what happened is the pins are set wrong. Right. There. No ball. Yeah.
I don't get that. That was the best one I've done so far.
That was the best ball you've thrown so far? What do you think? You're playing golf? Don't knock any pins down? So that lane's not racking the pins correct, is it? No, but that lane is not racking the pins right. They're not going right. But the 10 pin is over about a foot from the rest of the pins. Every time it does that. We can't go to a break. We'll have to use the other lane. Hey, can we turn on 6? 7's just malfunctioning. Just bowl, Heather. Just bowl. Let's go get some cable with them braces, Mike.
Third ball in the 4th frame.
This is duck bowling, Don. And she dumped it in the gutter, so it just doesn't matter anyways, does it, Don?
No, I guess it doesn't.
And what's the odds of her picking this up, Don?
Well, she's going to have to throw the ball quite straight and hit it.
What would it be?
I would say astronomical. I could be wrong, you know?
And how would this be accomplished?
How would she pick it up? Probably by hitting it a direct hit. That's how I would.
Is that the incorrect move, Don? Trouble with the math today, Don? That business math class doesn't help out in bowling?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Comes Mike Laskawa.
He might have dropped his shoulder on that shot
How could you tell?
by watching.
that 60 something down? 64, 72. So 46 to 72 through 5 frames. Mike with 2 open frames, Heather with all open frames, Heather with an 8-pin handicap. She still has a chance, though. Nice shot there by Mike. Is that a working ball?
No, it's really not. Mike's throwing a power ball, and it's not working for him at all. As a matter of fact, he could do with a little bit more lift and to slow it down just a tad. Now, Mike's throwing an angle, and that is a working ball technically, but he's just not making it work for him. What do you think, Don?
I think you're right.
Could you say all that, Don? Just kill time?
I think we've killed enough time.
What do you think of Ed Kane's new car?
Oh, it looks pretty nice, except for that dent.
Get the ball.
What was that style?
I said Heather, on the other hand, using the all-female style, which is basically to get the ball from the foul line to the pins without it falling off either end of the lane.
Could it be the yanking of the Velcro that's slowing her down?
It could be that possibly the Velcro does not have enough give in it when her foot flexes, and that could be the difference here today.
She's got pretty big feet for a girl, don't she?
I don't know. I wasn't watching her feet. I'm trying to watch the game and give the best analytical play-by-play that I possibly can give.
Right. So what do you think about the regular guy sawed-off pajama top look?
I think it works for her. A lot of women wouldn't take that risk, but Heather, on the other hand, Heather's a rebel and she'll do it.
Heather picking up her first spare of the game.
And the odds of her getting another one, Don?
I'd say they're pretty good, seeing as how last week she got so hot there at the end of the game.
Was it the lights or? So Don, give us a scoring summary through 7. 7 frames, Don, right here.
Well, they both have marks in the 7th, but in the 6th, Heather has 55 and Mike has 79.
Thanks, Don. We'll give you a bone for that later. How do you feel about that shot?
Mike dropped his shoulder again.
Well, like Don said, Mike dropped his shoulder again, and it doesn't appear that he's following through with his arm. He's just sort of dumping it right off, and it's not a pretty sight.
Well, finger gestures between our color commentator and Mike Lascella. I think Mike kept saying, I'm number 1. How do you feel about Heather's chances now?
Well, let me take a look at the score. Don, move your hand. Well, it appears that Heather is getting ready to make her charge as she has just struck on a spare in the 7th frame.
Like I said earlier, she tends to get hot towards the end of the game.
Don, man, give me a chance. I got to get the mic back and forth between the two of you guys. And Mark was talking. Don't interrupt. What do you think about that goofy style?
Well, it's obviously working for her, Kevin. I mean, I'm not impressed with the style. but the scores are there. Let the scores speak for themselves. That's what I say. What do you think, Don?
I think you're right again.
See that look of pleasure relief on Mike's face when she missed that?
Yeah, I caught that, and I saw the look of disgust on Heather's face, and it brought tears to my eyes. I know that.
And Heather also showing that she's number one. Correct what?
Correct the style.
Redundant. But he probably will win, and we'll see him next week.
Well, there are no guarantees in bowling, Kevin, and if you will take a look at the score once again, Mike's looking at a 114 now. Although he hasn't thrown his second ball in the 9th frame, Heather could make that late charge, and I would not be surprised to see it.
Don, the odds on Heather striking out.
Oh, not very good. But as you see, she's getting better here towards the end, so she could have a good chance there.
The Pistons erasing that 15-point deficit, too, Don, and they did it.
Did they win, Mark?
Don, that's not the issue. The issue is a 15-point deficit. Now, Heather is not quite as down and out as I would say the Pistons were, and I think at this point she has a chance to come back, possibly take the victory.
In the pizza. So Mike bowling right now.
Mike corrects his style.
Well, Mike may have sealed it at this point. We're not sure, but he may have put the seal on it. But as there is a God, and Heather still has a chance.
Don?
Indeed so.
I'm going to bring up Mike. He's bowling. He's got a strike. The boot.
That'll seal it.
Seal the victory or
Victory for Mike.
seal the chance of him ever getting this pin to fall?
I think we'll be seeing him next week.
Heather might come with him.
Well, we might see her too.
She won't be bowling.
So the score after 10 frames of solid bowling action for Mike, Don. Can't do the Gazintas, can you? And the times is 139. Is that what that is?
What that is.
Heather got one, Don. Can she do it?
No, I'm afraid not. No, not at this point. I think the lights have just gone out in Heather's bowling world. But I think it was a valiant effort, and I think last week's game spoke for itself. It was wonderful.
Any closing comments, Don?
A correction in the score. Mike's final score, 134.
Was it just so that you could rhyme?
Yeah,
So is that it? That's it? It's all over.
it's all over.
And the final score is? It's 134. So Mike won, dethroning Heather, who was just a great bowling champion for 1 week. And that'll just about say it. We'll go to a break. When we come back, we'll give Heather some prizes, some free bowling lessons, and we'll give Mike some pizza, so stay tuned.
You know, hanging out's okay. Nothing to do but shoot the breeze and let the day pass. But after a while, you get the feeling there's got to be more to life. And your family starts bugging you to get serious about your future. But when it comes right down to it, it's your life, and you've got to make the move. For me, it was the Air Force. They gave me over 200 careers to choose from. Careers that can really take me somewhere. In computers, electronics, communications, The Air Force is even picking up most of the tab for college. And I'll tell you, the Air Force lifestyle is something else. So why don't you give it a shot and get going with your future? You'll be serving your country and yourself in the Air Force.
Hi, welcome back to the end of Up Your Alley. It was a good match, and Mike prevailed. He beat Heather by a score of 134 to 110. Let's bring up Heather right now. She was a great champion for a week. She's got them prizes, and congratulations, Heather. You were just terrific. And I just couldn't believe that. I thought you were going to come back at the end with the strikes and the spares.
Well, with the commentating going on around me, I just couldn't concentrate.
Well, bummer, dude. So here's your 6 free games of bowling, and thanks for being on the show.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
I bet you did. Now, right now, we'd like to bring up Mike Lascala. Mike bowled a 134 game. He had a 150 average. You did that well, Mike. What you're doing now is your average is going down, and that'll give.
Handicap for the next series.
That's correct.
Next week.
Next week, which is next Wednesday instead of the show after this.
Right. Next week.
You bowled great there. Was it your dad's ball that did it for you?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You didn't take the tips over there from the avid bowling.
You can't hear him when you're up here. You just hear a mumbling undertone.
Well, that's about all it was, anyways.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you prizes from Tails and Tapes, Geppetto's, and King Cone, and we'll see you next week. How about that?
All right.
And if you bowl another great high game like you did this week, well, it could qualify you for that Tournament of Champions.
Hey, anything's possible.
That's right. Mike, just look at the camera, and when I say where you going, say, I'm going to Disneyland, okay?
I'm going to Disney.
No, I got to say where you going.
Let's get it straight. Why can't you keep
I
up?
said, hey, you just...
Everyone else
Mike
knows that.
Lascala, where you going when you went on Up Your Alley?
I'm going to Disneyland.
Thank you, Mike. We'll see you next week. Well, for Harold Larson and Ed Kane and Dan York and Don Spring and Mark Kramus, I'm Kevin Kramus. We're going to give you that address before I say goodnight. Give the address. It's Post Office Box 447, Garden City, Michigan, 48135. That's if you'd like to be on the show. Just send us your name, address, city, state, zip, phone number, and bowling average, and we'll call you up. The show is usually taped on a Saturday morning. We'll start the Saturday morning tapings starting probably in October or November, so we'll get right with you, and you can be on Up Your Alley. So, like for everybody, I'm Kevin Kramus. Good night, and remember, you learned it here on the Up Your Alley show. Good night.
There's a place in the world for the angry young man. Read his working class.